Just landed in Phoenix, Arizona. Took a very short flight from the DFW International Airport. Picked up the rent-a-car, which I let my big guy pick. He's all about having a sports car, so we went ahead and did that. Now we're about to take a short drive to Scottsdale. And in this video, we're going to compare Texas versus Arizona. We receive calls pretty much on a daily basis from people relocated from California, New York, and across the country to the Lone Star State. And every once in a while, we'll receive a call and the client will say, Richard, we're picking between Texas and Arizona. So I decided to fly in and weigh the pros and cons of living in Texas versus Arizona. So stay tuned and we'll see you at the hotel.
You put your heart on a letter to chase it away. Got sun, and it's all because of you. Hey, what's gonna give you more time forever? Know what they say, only time will tell. You know what they say, it never is.
Just arrived and checked into the Phoenician right here in Scottsdale. And one thing I noticed as we were landing at the airport and the short drive here to the hotel is the magnificent mountain views that Arizona is going to offer in comparison to Texas. I know I get a lot of slack in the comments when I say Texas is flat, but it is. The majority of it is. So to see these mountains, it's absolutely breathtaking. In addition to that, they have palm trees everywhere. So that's going to be a big difference between Texas and Arizona. Here you'll get to see mountains, or in Texas, especially in Dallas, you'll get to see the most beautiful skyline in the world right there in downtown Dallas. Phoenix, Arizona, the skyline is iffy at best. So those are just two minor differences between the states. In addition to that, Texas has an ocean. Obviously, Arizona doesn't. Before we get into the pros and cons of living in Texas versus Arizona, wanted to show you the grounds here at the Phoenician. They are absolutely incredible. So let's take a quick look before we dive into the pros and cons of Texas versus Arizona. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Phoenician Hotel. It's absolutely magnificent. I'm here at the 19th hole and wanted to discuss Texas versus Arizona. And typically the number one factor when families relocate to a new state is going to be the cost of living, saying that the cost of living in Texas is 6% less than the national average, while Arizona is higher than Texas and the national average. The median home price in Texas is going to be around $244,000, which is about 16% less than the national average. The median home price in Arizona is going to be around $350,000, which is 44% higher than the national average. So as you can see, in regards to the cost of living, Texas is going to be significantly less. More affordable housing is considered a significant advantage of living in Texas over Arizona. Of course, homes are a little pricey in places like Austin, but if you choose to settle in cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, or Houston, median home prices are actually much lower than the national average. While there may be some Texas cities with a higher home price than other U.S. states, housing costs are still about 28% cheaper than Arizona. Okay, moving on to the second item on our list in regards to Texas versus Arizona, and that's going to be the weather. As far as I'm concerned, both states fail miserably. I can't stand the heat. I'm very hot-natured, and Texas is brutal during the summer, and so is Arizona. The only difference is in Texas, in the Dallas area, in the evenings, once the sun has set, you can deal with the heat a little bit better. Here in Phoenix, even in the evening and when the sun goes down, it still feels like the sun is torching everything in its pathway. The main cities in Arizona are much hotter than any part of Texas. Texas has far more humidity, so some might argue it is more miserable. In general, Arizona is hotter in summer than Texas, except in the mountainous region. In fact, cities like Phoenix experience some of the hottest summers in the nation. Winters are milder in Phoenix. Dallas winters have been crazy the past few years. Another item with Texas weather is that it can be bipolar. So on any given day, it could be very cool, 30s, 40s, and by the afternoon, you could have the sun outshining 80 degrees, and by the evening, it could be snowing. So you really never know what you're going to get with the Texas weather, which is a huge con. So honestly, I don't know who wins. If it's hot, it fails. That's all there is to it. So in regards to both of these states, you're going to have to deal with the heat, or at the very least be able to manage it during these hot summers. For the last 2 days, we've been trying to get dinner reservations at 3 steakhouses that are very popular right here in Scottsdale. However, they are completely booked. So wanted to try Mexican food and compare it to Texas. However, the most popular Mexican restaurant is booked as well, and supposedly it's always booked. So the concierge recommended, what is the name of it again? The Barrio Queen, which loosely translated with my Spanish means the queen of the ghetto or the queen of the hood. I could be totally wrong. But anyway, got some carne asada, and I have to say, in regards to this particular Mexican restaurant, there is no comparison. Texas wins by a landslide. So hopefully we can go to a nice steakhouse tomorrow and I can compare the differences in regards to steak, which I'm pretty sure I already know who's going to win that as well. Okay, number 3 on our list, and that's going to be the landscape. The landscape in Arizona is absolutely beautiful. I love the mountains, as you can see them behind me, absolutely stunning. And a big change of pace from Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, Austin, San Antonio. I've said it in numerous videos that Texas is extremely flat, and on the one of the previous videos that I've done titled I'm Leaving Texas, I probably received about 100 comments stating that I never leave the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and that I need to go to the Hill Country, which I do on a consistent basis. We have offices, San Antonio, Austin, Houston, throughout the state. So I move around quite a bit, and I'm sorry, Texas is flat. No, I haven't been to El Paso, but in general, Texas is very flat. So when I see these mountains behind me that are absolutely breathtaking, definitely a nice change of pace. And you also have the desert. It's a completely different environment than Texas, that's for sure. But in Texas, we have the ocean and we have beautiful skylines. While I'm driving throughout the DFW Metroplex, yes, it gets kind of dull and boring, but every time I come up 35 or 45 from our San Antonio, Austin, and Houston offices and I see that Dallas skyline, man, it makes my heart beat a little bit faster, makes me smile, because I love the beautiful skyline of downtown Dallas. But again, I could see how someone would prefer the views of these mountains behind me. So those are just a couple of the differences in regards to the landscape between Texas and Arizona, DFW Metroplex, and the Phoenix area. Because I'll go above and beyond for our real estate channel, I'm about to jump on one of these ATVs and take a close look at the landscape here in Arizona. We're about a 40-minute drive away from Scottsdale. Not sure where we're at. However, the terrain looks beautiful. The mountains are amazing. So hopefully we can put the GoPro on top of the ATV and get some close-up scenes of the different terrain. With my little guy's gonna be my cameraman, so I'm not sure how much footage we're actually going to get. But let's jump on here. Just finished up our ATV tour. It was awesome. Tom with Stellar Adventures did an exceptional job. So if you're over here in this particular area of the country, you want to do some ATVs, look up Stellar. In particular, Tom did a great job with the guide, made it really fun for all the families, especially for my little one. So headed back to the hotel, taking a quick shower. I'm literally covered in dirt, but it was fun. Moving on to the fourth item on our list, and that's going to be real estate. The great thing about the Lone Star State is going to be that you're going to have numerous real estate options. And one thing I've noticed about being here in the Arizona Phoenix area is that the majority of the homes are going to be stucco, and they all tend to look alike. There are a lot of cookie cutter homes and subdivisions in Texas as well, but as a whole, there's a lot of variety. You can get a stucco home, traditional, ranch style, modern, Mediterranean, villa, whatever the case is. I just feel like there's going to be many more options in regards to housing if you live in Texas. Again, I've driven through some very nice subdivisions here in the Scottsdale area, and some were modern, but again, the majority are going to be stucco. That's just the look and feel and theme that this state has. So there's nothing wrong with that. I just like to have a variety of different options when choosing my home.
I can't help myself, I wondered if you still feel the way I feel. Are you sleeping with someone new, someone new,
Okay, so for the last 3 days, I've been trying to get reservations in Scottsdale for the 3 top steakhouses. However, it's been extremely difficult. Obviously, your boy doesn't have pool in Arizona. If I was in Dallas, I could make a couple calls and make things happen. However, I'm just a visitor in Arizona, so apparently I don't have any pool. Came to Oceans 44 tonight. Had a filet, my son had a filet, had some dessert, had some shrimp. The shrimp was outstanding. However, when comparing Mexican food and steak in regards to Texas versus Arizona, I must say there is no comparison whatsoever. The Mexican food in Texas is way better. The steak here was okay, but Capital Grill, Nick and Sam's, I mean, I could go on and on and on. It's not even comparable in regards to food, at least to steaks and Mexican food. Texas, hands down, it's a runaway. It's not even close, but we plan on getting some pancakes in the morning at the hotel. So hopefully they're better than IHOP. We'll see you in the morning. Having some breakfast with my little guy. And the sun is out. It's gorgeous in Scottsdale, Arizona. Wow. We just landed. Nathan and I had an absolute blast in Arizona. The mountains, the resort, everything was breathtaking. We really enjoyed our time there. But now let's move on to our 5th and final item, and that's going to be schools. In regards to schools, this isn't even going to be comparable. Arizona continues to rank amongst the worst in the nation in regards to education, according to the latest version of a national report that measures children's well-being across several areas. The 2021 Kids Count report said Arizona was 47th overall in education, down 1 spot from 46 a year earlier. Phoenix also spends 18.2% less per student than Dallas. So as you can see, in regards to education, Texas is going to win hands down, saying that I can understand the appeal and why people, especially that are retiring, want to take it a little bit easy, would prefer to move to Arizona. However, for someone like myself, it's not a hard decision to make. Texas wins hands down. while I did really enjoy seeing those beautiful, majestic mountains, Texas just has so much more to offer. I personally like green grass. I like that my kids can go across the street, play football on the grass, throw themselves around on the ground. I mean, I like greenery. I don't like seeing a bunch of rocks, especially in my front yard, even at the resort. A lot of the times it was turf that was being used, and by the basketball courts, every time we lost the ball or it bounced out, my son had to go through the rocks, stepping on them and all that good stuff. So overall, Arizona absolutely had a great experience, and we had a lot of fun, but you can't beat Texas. Texas is going to be hard to beat. Now, while we might not have the mountains, we might not have the perfect San Diego weather, overall, when you measure it all up, Texas is going to be, in my opinion, the very best state that you can live in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Nathan and I had an absolute blast making this video. We look forward to getting out of town again and comparing other states and cities versus Texas as well. But if you're thinking about relocating to the Lone Star State, whether it's in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex or throughout the state of Texas, my team and I would love to assist you with your next real estate transaction. And as always, we'll see you on the next video.